Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom, September 21st, 2019. And we have our very special guest, Ari. How you doing, Ari?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for
Nice
having
to
me.
see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think it's been 1 year.
Yeah, I've seen you hanging around the page here and there, and but it's been a while since we chatted, and we'd like to see what you've been up to.
2018 has been a year of transitions and letting go. It's amazing. After I finished the fast, a lot of changes started happening also in my outside world. A lot of letting go like never before. And we're still in between moving places. Yeah. And of course, when you move, that it forces you even more to let go of a lot of
Oh yeah.
stagnant energy and unused accumulated stuff. So it's been really intense, but exciting. And it's just like a new paradigm of less is more, basically. Not only inside my own body, but as well as like my outside body, my outside world. And I really valuing more simplicity. It's magical.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been wanting to do another fast, but I don't have a because I'm in between moving and it's not done, and I don't have like a place to do my daily enema, so it's been complicated. Having said that, I do carry around my tinctures just in case. I carry around my tinctures everywhere. I'm like, just in case, maybe I have a week. But it hasn't just, the timing hasn't worked. But the intention is there, and I can't wait to like do another long fast again. Like I said, it's just magical the way everything else kind of like the pieces of the puzzle kind of accommodate to your new inner version to kind of match, the outside world kind of matches that or reflects that back onto you.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I haven't seen anybody who's done at least 40 days or more that it didn't make a dramatic change in their lives, and it's there's just no way it's not going to change you when you're unloading.
Yes. And I think the greatest value is just the feeling of freedom. Just knowing that I don't need food to survive. If I eat it, it's because I choose to and I want to, and it is like a pleasure for being in 3D in a physical body, and I want to maybe taste some specific flavor or have a specific texture in my mouth because it feels good. But I'm not depending on food to be able to survive, and that brings
Awesome.
a lot of freedom.
That's a very, very difficult breakthrough to get through to people, that the whole nutrition thing and the necessity to eat is all hogwash. That's a big barrier for people to cross. And they looking at us like we're from another planet, because we are. We are the light.
Like when people ask me, it's like, you're not gonna eat, and I say, well, no, I don't, I'm not going to eat. They're like, you're crazy, and I say, absolutely, I am crazy. And then you don't have to explain anything.
Exactly. So, what do you do these days? Do you have a program with certain days or something, or you just go along?
Well, what's been working out for me right now is doing the intermittent fasting, to where I do 16 to 20 hours of daily
Awesome.
fast. And so I have a very small window of, if I choose to eat something, that I can do it. And it is interesting because when I stay on fruit, there's like zero addictions, zero. And then as soon as I like say, okay, fine, I'll have a little carb over here, it's amazing how much like the addiction shows up. It's like, I want more. But then I'm like, no, I know it's not me. I know it's my emotional self, or maybe a parasite that's out there that is like, oh, she's feeding me, I want more. uh, so it is pretty cool to be able to notice and to be aware, because there is that craving over here, you know, like, oh, I want to chew more, but then if you go to your to the pit of your stomach, I'm like, but I'm full. Like I don't feel like I don't feel the need, like I don't feel like I'm hungry. It's not hunger. So so that's been working out for me. And just really when I'm fasting, it's not a dry fast, it's with juice. um, and then sometimes I add some plasma pudding, just because I love it. And it satisfies, you know, it feels satisfying to me, and I know that is pulling out garbage out. And so, and then I eat a little bit, and that seems to be working out for me, especially now that that I haven't been able to really dig in, to really jump in another full master fast that I've been wanting to. So that's really keeping me. It's amazing. Like I don't think I've been in this greatest of a shape for a long time. I think probably since I was a teenager, where like I feel like I'm in my perfect weight. People are telling me, "Hey, what are you doing? You look younger." And I said, "I know," because I feel good. I do feel that the dry food ages you. It just sucks you dry. So I can tell the difference right away. And so I just feel good in my body. Like I feel that I am listening more. It's almost like the connection is there, and I can tell right away. Like for example, I eat something, I'm like, oh, that's the pancreas. The pancreas is saying ouch, or that's my liver. My liver is saying ouch. Or it's interesting how you just know what organ is talking to you or sending you like a signal. So that's very exciting. It's almost like we live in this house and we have this mind, but there's like many inhabitants in there, and we work together. You know, we make this body work. We work together to make this body function in this reality. And I think my organs are happy, or I feel that, right? I feel that my organs are happy to be part of the um, board of directors or being heard, right? Being heard as opposed to just existing there but not being acknowledged.
Right. You
Yeah.
expand your awareness and the consciousness to every part of your being, right?
Yeah. And even to like every single cell. Um, so I really like having that. I think I feel empowered, and um, I also feel detached. And actually now more than ever before, I don't feel any guilt for like people wanting to feed me and me declining it. I know that's how people um, share their love. You know, they cook you something. I made it with my own hands, so I want you to eat it. You know? But I'm okay saying no, and I'm okay not taking responsibility for their feelings. Like, sorry, like I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. And thank you so much for cooking it. Like, looks beautiful though. And so that's also something that I appreciate in me, like not feeling guilt.
So what after your 108 days for that, months later, did you have any go through challenges with the food, or did you stick to what you're doing now, pretty much?
I did have challenges. There were a few occasions where I wanted to be ravenous, and I was, but then I felt horrible, like not emotionally maybe because I forgive myself. It's like that's what in the moment happened, and it was perfect in that moment to show me like, oh, that feels like crap in my body. Like in my body feels pain.
Right.
And so I do honor those moments, and yeah, there's been more than one moment where I've been like, okay, I'm gonna eat that, and I do it, and I am aware of it, and I know I don't need it, but I choose it in that moment. I don't know if it's sometimes PMSing or sometimes it's maybe stress, but I'm aware like, oh, I'm stressful and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a pig right now and I'm gonna embrace my pig self. And so I do it, and then later I'm like, oh yeah, that's painful. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to feel the pain anymore. So then, that kind of like, it's like a stepping stone to help me just be aware that, okay, so this is an emotional thing and I'm stressful. I don't have to eat food to release the stress. I can choose to, and that's a choice and it's conscious, but I don't have to choose that. And so in those few moments that I had, it's been empowering. And I also like that I don't feel guilt for having done it, because I learned from it and it brings further clarity. And that's invaluable, right? But words don't teach, right? We only learn by experience.
That's beauty, because once you take that full responsibility, you're not pointing fingers at anybody. You're doing it by choice, and you
Mm-hmm.
understand, the consequences of whatever choices you pick, and all is fine and dandy. It's the people that are don't want to take responsibility for anything. They don't know if they're coming and going. They're pointing blame on everything and their mother and everything else.
And you're doing an amazing job. Taking the responsibility and being gentle with yourself. Like listening to your body. Especially after 108 days, you can listen better. You're more connected, and when you put the heavier food, your body is not happy, and you acknowledge that, and you make conscious choices, whereas whether you want to eat and indulge, or you say no. So you indulged, like many other people, we all indulged, and then you felt the pain, and that taught you a lesson, and that every time this happened again, now you learned your lesson, and you improved until you came to where you are today, which is a few meals a day or one meal a day, right?
And from the challenges that I was having during the fast, one was like, of course, hair fall. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna go bald. It was horrible. It was a very intense, emotional, painful situation, because my hair was just like falling right and left. And oh my God, my hair's growing back. Oh my God. So I'm very, very happy that it was a transition and it was needed. It was scary, you know, but then I had to focus on like, it's gonna go back. It's okay. It's not. I think many times, and this is part of like the paradigm that we live on, right? Like when you see something wrong and you think, like, the first thing is like, that's it. Like, I'm screwed. This is it, and there's no going back. And this is I'm never going to recover my hair. Oh my God. But it's not true. We create, right? So I had to really, really force myself to what do I want, and focus on that. Because I did my hair
Your hair loss, was it during the fast or after?
during and then after also, because I am aware that the detox keeps on going. um, um,
What I noticed with my hair is that it's at the beginning of a fast, maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
mhm.
But then after that, you like, and even from the beginning, the hair feels much better. It's much less frizzy. Yes, I still, for example, I still lose hair at the beginning of a long fast. But I realized that I found that like after maybe 2 months, that's
Mhm.
it stops falling. And after the
Oh,
fast, when we go into like when we go into ups and downs with food, it falls again. The body doesn't like that, right? The body doesn't
mhm.
like that, so it falls again. But then when you find your balance, then it's totally fine. Yeah, it really affects the body, the food, and we see it in the hair as well, the hair loss.
Yeah, and of course, you probably have a super clean gut. I mean, you have that fabulous machine that cleanses your colon. Oh my God, that's fantastic. And of course, because for me, my goodness, my hair just kept on falling and falling and falling and falling until just probably about maybe 3 months ago. So that long, you know.
Was that your
And so
first fast ever, or you had fasting experience before? I don't remember.
I had fasting experiences before, but not quite as long. I think the longest fast that I had done was an 11-day one from the, what was it? It's the master, master, master cleanser,
Cleanse? Okay,
the
so
one with the lemon and the cayenne pepper, and and that's it. I mean, but I didn't have like I didn't see any changes, quite honestly.
Yeah.
When I did that, and and then maybe smaller fasts. The biggest by far is the master fast. With I just jumped into 108 days, and I think that a lot of things needed to come out, and they did. And I'm by no means feel that I'm clean. I feel and I know that I want to do another one. I mean, I know that the big parasites, the long, tiny, thin worms came out day 101 or something. And I was like, oh my God. So it was just like starting to dig. So by no means, I know there's a bunch of trash in there still.
Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, yeah, we start releasing the most interesting stuff as we go deeper. They definitely do not come out easily. The bad parasites, like for me, seeing worms coming out of people, I don't see it in people who eat. Absolutely, like unless a person is backed up, they go to the bathroom once or maybe twice a week or something. Then they're really full, in my opinion, because they do come out sometimes. So when you see them come out easily in a colonic while they're eating, it means they're full, in my opinion, because they do not come out easily. And usually after, yeah, I've seen many worms, but from master fast people, mainly, not people who are eating. Yeah, when you start master,
and I'm even, sorry.
Yeah, when you start fasting and going deeper, you start seeing interesting stuff come out.
The
They
little
don't
monsters come out. They can't stand it in there anymore. And I was actually pretty surprised that I released how much I did, because I was only doing like one bag in enema. I tried the other guy, the one with the 5 gallons. How do you call the Colema board? A freaking mess in my bathroom. Freaking mess. And yeah, I think it's because I didn't have the right the right height for the bucket. So everything it was messy in there. The water was coming up. Well, let me tell you.
It takes time to learn how to use it.
Yes, and I need like I need the premises to be able to do that. So I'm excited about really rinsing that gut, really well. Another thing that I had problems with was my gums and my teeth. Oh my God, I remember how painful they were, and I'm so grateful that they're not painful anymore. But I remember like my whole gum. I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my teeth. Oh my God, because they were receding. The gums were receding. Guess what? They're back.
When was this? During, after the fast, before?
During, and then a little bit after. And actually, I tried another of the cave remedies. We use the packs for the belly and the liver. Well, there's something called IPSAP. It's like some herbs that they sell that is for your gums, and I tried that with a cotton, and that really, really, really helped. Because, oh my God, I was also freaking out about like, imagine no hair, no teeth. Oh my God, that's a character.
Oh my God.
Yeah, everybody goes into the fear mode when things start happening.
Yeah. Exactly, and like I said, it's like you start like receiving them. That's it. That's the end of my love. They will never be back. Oh my God. So it's panicky. I was panicking, like, oh my God, I'm going to become an old hag right now. I'm only going to be able to do old witch roles But no,
That's
my came back.
that's the programming kicking in, right? Because we're missing something, we're malnutrition and all that crap, and the programming kicks in and the fear kicks in, right? That's because people don't do enough of their homework. When you do
Yeah.
enough of your homework and you have the understanding, and you watch people's journeys and so on and so forth. Even though it starts happening, you freak out a bit, but you start gaining more of that trust because of the knowledge through the other people that have gone through it, and it doesn't get as scary. And then once you've done it a few times and you've seen how the body responds, you start to understand, right? The soul's in charge. I don't have nothing to worry about. Let it work. It's working autopilot, man.
Yes, and it is a belief. Is the belief, and my God, that beautiful fear that they love to put on us, right? Like the program, right? The matrix or whatever. Like it's fear-based. Everything is fear-based. And then you need somebody else help me. Somebody else, some sort of authority, because I have no idea. Because my body has no idea. Because I'm completely powerless, and it's all a lie.
Yeah, it's more the intellect, that gets in the way, that we're supposed to know why, who, what, where, and why, and nobody knows. It doesn't matter, because when we allow the soul to work in autopilot through digestive vacation, long digestive vacations, there's nothing, absolutely nothing to worry about. Follow the protocol and let it happen. How long is it going to take? As long as it takes. And that's the time frame is a ridiculous question, because there's not an understanding. We say 9 years is a good start. It really is a good start. 108 days, opens the doors, walk through. What are you going to do? You're going to go back? You're going to throw away the key? It's up to the individual. But once you have the understanding and keep that faith, you keep walking, and it doesn't matter. You fall off here and there, but you're always walking in that direction, because what was happening before with an eating lifestyle, it doesn't work. Look out there. Freaking people are eating themselves to death left, right, and center all the time. Whether they're eating food, drugs, or whatever, they're eating themselves to death.
Yeah, and now that I'm, working through moving, and the master fast, like it's almost like the first master fast, it's like opening that one box where you have all the little tiny things like have no place anywhere in the house, and you're like, oh, I forget about this tiny little thing, like, oh, where do I put it? Do I throw it away? I feel like I need it, but is this box full of like little kind of like little worms, right? It's like, oh, what do I do with this? And is there like nice little gadgets, but they're trash because you don't really use them. But it's almost like each fast is like one of those boxes where like now you open the can. Now what do I do, right? And then there's other boxes out there that you're like, oh, I don't want to open them right now, because then I know I'm going to have to look through every little single thing.
Right.
And it's exhausting. But you don't need that.
Yeah, it's amazing that all the things that become revealed to us just by cleaning house, right? Just by cleaning the physical body. We start seeing everything in a whole different light of things. Everything start having, different meanings for certain things, and so on and so forth. All the most simple things in nature, and so on and so forth, become more interesting and more beautiful. Like you were talking earlier, the simplicity of life. It's just awesome. We complicate things so much in our way we've been programmed to live. It's very materialistic in all degrees. The technologies and so on and so forth that we're using here and so far. It's a beautiful thing to have, beautiful tool. But there's other ways to use it. You can use it for negative, or you can use it for positive. So not everything is painted with a black and white brush, that everything's evil or whatever. There's both sides on everything, and we can choose how to use them. We're so far advanced in technology at destroying this planet. With that same technology, we can turn this planet around to a pristine state very quickly. If people decided to be in, peace, balance, correct conduct, bang, it's done. Tomorrow, everybody decides that. It won't take long to bring this planet back into a beautiful, pristine state. within a year would be a dramatic change. Just look at what happens in the body in 3 months, you know, dramatic change. You don't think the earth can do that? You better believe it. It works on the same principles as creation. There's no difference. Same principles as the universe, no difference. So we have this knowledge. So now it's you know, our decision to decide to be on this journey, right? And once we decide, it's all beautiful.
And you're absolutely right. And I think it's because at the end of the day, you become happier. The simplicity makes you happier because it's like, so what? So
Right.
something is happening over there. So what?
Right.
Something happening over there. So what? It's okay. It's okay. So, and I think that just by being happier, if everybody was happier, like you said, big change would happen.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I do want to thank you because I remember when I was having when I was in the middle of the fast, and I think it was probably the second month in, I had a freak out moment where like my appendix felt like was going to explode, and I was like, oh my god! But thank goodness we have the Master Fast Facebook group, and I posted something like, I don't know what to do, and you like replied right away, and it was fantastic. Thank you so much. And you said, you know, just go and do enemas with the grape and the lemon. I'm like, okay, and I did like 3 in a row, and that's excited. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my boyfriend because I know he's gonna say, I'm gonna take you to the hospital, and then I'm gonna have no appendix.
Exactly.
I'm not going to tell anyone because I know that's not the solution. I need my appendix.
Yeah, it's
And
put there for a reason, right?
exactly, everything is there for a reason. It's not an obsolete organ like they say. It's there for a reason. And so that helped me, having that support, having that advice, like knowing what to do, knowing somebody that's gone through the process and knows how it works and what's going on was crucial for me to like go over that hurdle. And I think the support, it was crucial. The support was crucial, and thank you for that. You know,
Yeah, you're
you
welcome.
saved my appendix.
It's, you say that you just did what you needed to do. Like everybody who has this appendicitis attacks can easily avoid surgery. You just got to start doing enemas, go get colonics, whatever. Stop eating. You know what I mean? It's just the lymphatic system is so backed up. The appendix is kind of like a lymph node, big lymph node, and we don't really know all the functions of it and so on and so forth. But
I think it's something to do with the flora of the stomach.
yeah, there's different.
Right?
Aaron said it was a lubrication for the colon and so on and so forth. But you know, we don't really have to know what it's there. It's there for a reason, and the reason is to keep it there, not to remove it. We didn't make a mistake by giving us an appendix and every other organ. Everything is there for a reason. So I'm glad you kept that and you stayed with it, because it's not something very drastic. It's not a pleasant feeling, but you know, enemas is always the first line of defense. Enemas, no matter what it is, physical pains, this and that, emotional pains, go with the enemas. And keep going, and keep going, and keep going. You'll do your breath work and just keep doing the enemas. Is it going to go away in a day? Maybe not. Maybe 2, 3, maybe a week. Who cares? But you keep going because you understand that what's happening, the system's backed up, and you just got to empty it out. That's all it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a backed up system. And that's the simplicity of what we're doing here. We're just cleaning the pipes, right?
And it's funny because like before all this, I was a virgin enema person. I was like, there's nothing's going in there. No, that's only an outside door. I don't want anything going in there. And now, like, I have a headache. Where's my enema bag? I have a stomach ache. Where's my enema? The headache goes away. The stomach ache goes away. It's amazing. Like, where's my enema bag? It's like, no, I'm an enema slutty. Excuse me. But yeah, it's amazing the power of releasing what is not needed and how the body responds with love, responds to that love. It's extremely powerful.
simple, amazing tools. Are they natural? Not really. Not either. Neither is eating. So, you know, if you're eating, what are you going to do? You're going to keep plugging yourself up and building up and backing up your system? No. If we're going to decide to eat, let's use some tools to relieve that pressure. And you know, this is why we're saying, you know, never ever go back to 7 days a week eating. I don't know what you're doing now. You never mentioned, but we don't suggest you ever go more than 5 days a week and keep 1 day liquids, 1 day dry, so the system doesn't start getting backed up like it was before. Because at 7 days a week, you're going to be backing up. Even if you're doing enemas every day, you're going to be backing up. We need that rest time to not put anything in, you know. It's just like a sewer system. If it's backed up, what do? You keep putting stuff in it? No, you got to you got to work at it to unplug it so you can, you know, use it again. It's the same thing. No difference.
Flush it.
So, yeah, what, are you going, how many days a week are you eating these days?
I'm eating 6. I'm eating 6 days a week. Yeah. And sometimes depending on how I feel, I do 72 hours of a fast. But like at least 1 day, and as a minimum.
Are you doing?
Because I do agree.
Are you doing any dry fasting?
No, I'm not doing any dry fasting. But thank you for that. I think this meeting today, was inspiring me to like go back to that. Because guess what? Remember how my kidneys weren't filtering? Now they're filtering like mad, and I'm so happy. I'm like, yeah, look at that yellow pee full of gunk. I love pee so much, because I remember I was like, even after the fast, my kidneys weren't filtering. My pee was like clear as a crystal, and I was like, what's wrong? And it just took maybe 6 months after the fast for them to start cleansing. But I think part of it also was because your belief system catches up with you. And also just the assumption like, oh, they're not filtering. But it's like, but they could be filtering. Why not? I just have to relax. They're stressed. I just have to relax and stop obsessing about they're not filtering. Because in a way, you know, our thoughts create, right? So what if I imagine them filtering? And then what if I imagine them relaxing? Especially now that they're cleaner, the lymphatic system is cleaner than before, there's no reason why they wouldn't. So I just like give them their time and stop stressing them with my own mental BS. And they started filtering one day, and I'm like, good for you, good boys. Yeah. And so I just cherish them, and I talk to them like, thank you so much. Like, I can see you're filtering. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. Keep filtering. What do you need? You need this. What did you need? Tell me, you know, let me know in my dreams or whatever, hunch. But I am extremely pleased because I wanted so much for my kidneys to filter, and they are.
Yeah.
That's another like after master fast, I guess, secondary effect.
Yeah. I want to mention for the dry fasting. It's probably, I know it's always harder when you're eating to dry fast. So it would be a good idea to have maybe 1 day of liquid master fast and 1 day dry master. So like, basically you're preparing your body, you're washing, and it's easier to get a dry when
to go, instead of going directly into a dry. That makes sense.
And keep your daily dry, which is 12 hours a day, right, including your sleep.
Yeah.
And then you can have the the drinking window and then the eating window. And it would be good to also, if you can, experiment with like doing a monthly, maybe 3 days and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And actually, now that you're saying that, if I really think about what my my habits is, I'm probably dry fasting at least 12 hours a day. I'm just not counting it. But like, if I really think about it, from the time I stop eating, which is probably 6 p.m., 5 p.m. or something until the next morning. And then I start drinking something. I'm probably doing a 10 to 12 hours drive without unintentionally, but I would like to be more intentional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, do like a day of dry fasting would be amazing too.
We always have room for improvement, right?
Yeah. And this is what this is for, because to bring kind of like to refocus everything, right?
Yeah, yeah, something. Another thing about the filtering, um, what was your diet before the master fast?
I was vegan, sometimes raw vegan, but with that said, it was, I was trying those recipes that had like a bunch of nuts and high fat raw vegan, and that didn't quite work.
How long did you do?
Yeah, and as opposed to now, I'm like, I don't even eat nuts. Like every once in a while, seldom. Like I avoid high fat. I don't, I'm not. The only thing that sometimes I might, it's maybe some coconut, a little bit of coconut, but it's more like coconut skins. It's called coconut cream concentrate. It's just for, it tastes really good, but it's mostly the oil is gone. It's more the coconut meat. But other than that, I don't really want to, I'm not even near to eating fat like before. So before the fast, it was mostly a lot of raw vegan, but mostly just vegan with high fat meals.
How many years prior to the fast?
I would say probably I've been vegan for well, I've been a vegetarian since year 2000, and then vegan for about 7 or 8 years, something like that. Uh-huh.
You were
But then the more I'm sorry. Yeah.
and you were checking your filtration back then before the fast, and there was no filtration, right?
No filtration.
And then
No, and actually it's funny because I was so proud of my clear pee, right? I was like, oh my God, my pee is the clearest, it's the cleanest. And so then later you find out like, oh no, it's the other way around, honey. And I remember because I was also measuring the pH of my pee, and it was the most alkaline pee you could ever have, a beautiful 8 or 9. Horrible. So of course, pH doesn't really matter, but I was like so like focused on like, let me measure my pH.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that the pH doesn't matter. We don't have an understanding what it means. So who cares about the?
Exactly. Who cares, right? Simplicity.
It's you're gonna get, you just get into more confusion checking this pH and checking these numbers and that numbers and that. We can't figure this stuff out because we're looking at that small window in matter state, which is only the effect. So, and you're playing with the effect. Meanwhile, everything's happening on the other, on the spirit side, on the field.
And that's how obsessed I was with details.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with the details and this and that, blah, 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 and like all mind BS, right? And then it's like, well, it feels better if I don't. It feels so much better just being simple. It's like, it's all right. Just keep it simple, less stress, smile more. It's so good, right? So much better.
Most people are not satisfied with the simplicity. They want all that detail, all the intellect stuff,
and the options.
And just these people, I see them just getting more and more confused out there. They're jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing, and they're focusing on all this luciferic intellect, I like to call it.
Lots of options.
I've been there, so you know what I mean. I've been there. I understand, and it's just for many years doesn't get you nowhere fast. That's you gotta go within. You don't have to. If you choose to go within.
Yeah, there's lots of information and this brings confusion. Distraction from the simplicity and from
the simplicity.
I was like that. I was like, okay, I'm trying to fix this, so I'm gonna buy this to fix that, and then you see something. I would say see something else. Oh, I'm gonna buy that too, and I'm gonna buy that, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and I end up with a bill pile of crap. I'm still having the same issues. So it's like, go out and throw those away. Never mind, start from scratch.
I find.
Cook
Sorry, go ahead. No, I find the simplicity actually scares people because it's the moment where they have to look inwards and trust, and we're not trained for that. We're not programmed for that, right?
But,
We're trained and programmed to have somebody else fix our problems.
yeah, many people complain about boredom on the master fast because like it's too simple. They have more time, they have more energy, they have more creativity, they have more connection and spirituality, more feelings, and like they're left with that, and they don't have this other, like so many other distractions, you know,
like cooking
like cooking,
or cleaning dishes,
buying,
right?
cooking it, you know,
And on and on and on and on.
On the menu for the week. Oh, plasma pudding! Yay!
and not to mention after you eat, you're too tired to even like to work, you know, you're too tired, so that kind of occupies your body, so you're busy, you know, you're always occupied, so you sit down, maybe you watch TV or you watch a video or whatever. It's like always go 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 go, you know, so when you slow down with fasting, that kind of like you have to face the reality and you have to face yourself.
Your background was what, Mexican? I think, was it Mexican?
Mexican, yeah. We didn't really eat much meat when I was growing up. Maybe like once or twice a week, maybe chicken or beef or something, but really seldom. Mostly actually vegetarian, unintended vegetarianism. Um, yeah, I think maybe we didn't have as much money and they couldn't afford more meat, which that's great. And I remember not being a fan of milk either. So thank goodness. But yeah, and actually my mom was pretty good at not cooking like super high fat fried stuff, except for chilaquiles, which I hold them dear to my heart because I remember I used to love them, and maybe uh, fried potatoes, but like the Italian style, no, not French fries, but like the Italian style. Those were really good. I used to love potatoes.
Yeah.
Um, mm,
You guys
um,
are into the food a lot as well, right?
yeah, or yeah. I think food gives you pleasure. You know, it's like a sensory pleasure, right? And yeah, and I think that's what makes it so addictive, especially if you're unhappy, because for many people, unfortunately, and they say it. Okay, I didn't hear it. They say it is the only source of happiness. So if that's the only source of happiness, then guess what? You want it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Stimulation.
Oh, I can't live without my pasta. I can't live without my meat.
Oh yeah.
I've heard that a lot. Right? Some of these people are not alive anymore, right? They just couldn't change
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, thankfully it was not the best diet, but it wasn't the worst. And then thanks to that, when I moved to the US, because I grew up in Mexico, I remember like we used to drive by McDonald's and I was like, what's that stench? It smells horrible. I guess it's all the oil that they keep on reusing to fry everything. I'm like, oh, it smells horrible. What's that, McDonald's? And the pizza, especially the one that they give you in school, like you're in second grade and they bring you some pizza. Oh, it stinks horrible. I'm like, what's that? I have to eat that? That sucks. So I guess my sinuses were a little cleaner than others people's. But yeah, it could have been better. We did not you eat a lot of fruit. Um, and now, of course, that's like my number one meal. Like people can't believe, like, you only ate watermelon today? Are you crazy? Yes, I am, and I love it. So yeah, And it's amazing how satisfying it is. When I eat watermelon all day, I don't care about anything else. I don't feel cravings. I don't feel like I need more. I feel hydrated. Watermelon is probably one of my favorite fruits, and watermelon, and then papaya. I like papaya. I'm a Mexican girl.
That's a melon family.
Yeah.
Papaya with lime. Lime on everything, actually, for me.
Anything else that comes to mind you want to share? If anybody's got any questions for Ari?
All answers, all answers have been given. No, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I feel like I like everything digests fast. Um, I don't feel heavy except if I go away from the fruit, I do feel heavy. So I mean, it's like an instant sign. Um,
Yeah.
and the body is just such a great communicator.
Oh yeah. When the cooked food's very addictive because it's put in a high energy packets through the cooking procedure, and it's very addictive. That's the problem. You know, the more you go into cook, the more cooked you want, and it's always
Mm-hmm.
you know that's what people are drawn to. It's, you know, you stay away from it, you don't have to worry about that. You know? So
Mm-hmm.
same thing with you know, eating in general versus fasting. When you're fasting state, master fasting state, you don't need to worry about any food. Doesn't because you don't get hungry and you feel freaking amazing. And then you, as soon as you put any food in your mouth, everything changes, and you feel the difference, like night and day.
Everything slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything slows down. It's almost like the vibration. It's almost like the vibration has to slow down to tend to the digestion.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like a distraction from like high vibration, right? I have to wait. I have to go down and I have to digest this. Give me a second, or 2 hours, or three. And it is definitely it stops everything else way.
Digestion
So,
takes huge amounts of energy, huge, massive.
80%,
Who knows? It's a
maybe
lot,
more.
a lot of energy.
I know for me, if I fast for at least 1 week and then I eat, I'll be so sleepy after, like maybe a few hours after that. I'm so sleepy. It's crazy. Yeah.
it's very true. Like I now that you say that, I haven't even like needed a nap. When I'm on fruit, like I don't need a nap. I'm just like going on and about and doing physical activities, riding my bicycle, indoor rock climbing, dancing. Um, and then if I eat a meal that is heavier than that, for sure, you're right. I do feel like, oh, okay, I need to go out of my body so that the body can concentrate on digesting my crap. Absolutely.
Big time.
Yep.
We love to eat, but we love fasting way more.
I agree.
If
Yeah.
anybody says they don't love to eat, bull crap. Everybody loves to eat. Everybody loves that sensation when it enters the mouth. It's the after effect that I don't like. But
Absolutely. If I could either chew it and spit it, right?
yeah, it's that, you know, sensation that it's more than anything. It's the socializing thing. If we're just pigging out and binging on our own, it's one thing. But when it's the whole socializing thing and meeting with people, because that's all we've done. You know, especially in Italian heritage, it's always gathering food, 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 food. No matter what you do, it's always about food. And
Absolutely.
that's really what we're drawn to, interacting with, you know, loved ones and so on and so forth.
Sharing the food.
That's the
experience.
beauty. That's the real beauty. The food is
Sharing the experience, sharing the taste as well, maybe, and you know.
the food just locks in the memories into our physicality.
I mean, but you can share things when you're interacting with them without having to share the taste. You can share other things, but sharing the taste is just one aspect.
I know, but we're not programmed like that, and that's the difficulty when people don't stop eating and they don't know what to do with themselves. That's the challenge. So this is why, we have these support groups and so on and so forth, because out there you're on your own and you're in an eating world.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty good at that. I'm so proud of myself. That if fans were, hey, Erica, let's have some tea with whatever cooking, whatever. And I said, let's just have a chat. I just I'm interested in listening to you. I can have the tea. I like tea, sure, but I don't need anything else. I'm also pretty good at just going to gatherings and not eating.
Awesome.
I don't, like people are like, you don't want to eat anything. No. Like, why? I just don't feel like it. And I think that was a habit that I kept from when I was doing the master fast, because I would still go to gatherings. I would still go to things where like they have a big dinner. I'm the only one with no table at the restaurant, with no plate at the restaurant. Or sometimes, I have a plate of food in front of me, but I don't have to eat it. I love smelling it.
Yeah, the odors are wonderful.
I quite enjoy a bunch of smelling and watching other people eat, actually, when I was fasting. So that's kind of like a habit. Like, you can eat it and I can still enjoy it, but I don't have to have it in my mouth.
Right.
And so, I don't apologize. And I think that's something that I appreciate about this whole thing, where it's like, hey, instead of having lunch, why don't we go climbing? Or what if we just go bicycle, just go to the beach and let's just bike and we can chat afterwards, we can do an activity and bond and chat, and just not be sitting on a table in front of a table with food. Like, I don't need the food to socialize with you.
Right.
That's a good aftermath from the master fast, that I appreciate, and I kept. And so I think it's very freeing, as well. Another part of the freedom part, from less is more, to where, like, I don't need food as an excuse to see you or to love you or to talk to you. And then you don't have to apologize. It's just something that stayed, as part of the process.
Yeah, it's amazing how you did a great job making it work for you. You made it work. Now you found a way. It's not, it can be confusing, right? It can be confusing, but you sat down and you figured it out, and together with yourself, talking to yourself, and knowing that you're doing a good job when you do a good job, and acknowledging that, and appreciating yourself for doing a good job.
Yeah.
And a mistake, it's okay, which gives you pain. You learn from it. Um,
And I think it was crucial to, don't ask people what they think, and to just stay focused on what I think and why I'm doing this, and then only ask the people that know, that done it, like you guys, or at the Masterfast Facebook group, if I have any doubts. Like, nobody else outside the Masterfast world is going to know, because they never done it, and I know what they think, and I know the answer they're gonna give, and it's not gonna be what's gonna keep me focused on what I want. So, and I think that was very important, to not ask anyone else around me, not even my best friend, because even my best friend thought I was crazy. She supports me and loves me unconditionally, but it was like, you're crazy. You don't need that. You're already clean. I'm like, no, you don't know what I'm talking about. I need cleaner. You think I'm clean because in the eyes of other people, just the pure fact of being vegan, you're doing pretty damn good, right? But it's like, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, compared to who? I'm clean compared to who, right? But if I don't compare myself to anyone, and I just focus on how I feel, I know exactly how clean or dirty I am inside.
yeah.
So, just again, just staying focused on my goals, and also on who I ask the advice from, the people, motorcycle, the people that know what's very important to to just stay clear and just go forward and keep going forward.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the support system is amazing. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, the support is very important because, like you're saying, it's not easy when you're outside. Even your best friend who loves you and supports you cannot really understand you. So it's good to have a family who will understand you. A group of friends who can understand you. Um, yeah, but it's great that you're sticking to your goals. You're doing an amazing job. Amazing.
Thank you. I feel great. I feel great. I feel happy. I feel appreciative of life, even more than ever. I appreciate, like Gino said, the simplicity. Um, I'm happy most of the time. I mean, I am happy. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. When I'm driving, I'm happy. Amazing, right? Driving happy. Um, I just feel happy, and I don't have a reason other than it's a state of being, and and I love my body, and I love the changes, and I love the regeneration that I'm seeing, and I just love. I mean, the process has not ended yet, and I can only be more excited for what's to come.
There's no end, is there? It only gets better.
There, it's limitless realms. They're limitless, limitless, limitless. There's no lack. And that's the challenge. We're looking at a society mainly of lack mentality. They're missing something. They need something. And we're going out and saying the complete opposite. We're in a limitless realm. We don't need anything. We have everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. And it's so funny because, like, in my family, sometimes even I see, like, Mom, oh my God, she would feel so much better if she just would get an enema, even if it's just an enema. She doesn't want to do it, and I'm like, oh my God, let's have a colonic. Can I give you a colonic? You'll see, like, just try it, just for fun, like, just once in a lifetime, just try that little tube is gonna go in there, and you'll see all the stuff coming out. You'll be like, wow, and then you'll feel better. Because sometimes she asks me, oh my God, I have this. What do you think I should do? And my answer is always with her. First of all, have a hydrotherapy, colon hydrotherapy, mommy, and then and then she's like, not in my butt. So you can only, if they ask me, I tell them,
Yeah.
and then if they don't ask me, I don't say anything. I'm not preaching to anybody, right? It has to come from within. But it's a personal thing, and we can't force people, right? It's their own choice. How much do you want to feel better, right? What are you willing to do?
exactly.
Take a pill and feel better.
You know,
Good luck.
just a few days ago, I just threw somebody out of the group because he's talking bullcrap about enemas. You don't need freaking enemas if you don't eat shit. Really? That's not what we've experienced. I don't care what diet you're on. Everybody's full of shit. Everybody.
I
These fruitarians, many
the
years
tube.
full of shit. You know?
Yeah. I dare him to put a tube in his ass and look at the thing and see if it comes clean. Good luck with that, mister.
People are anal about enemas, right? They don't want to go. They don't want to go in through the outdoor, as you said. Stop eating. Then you don't have to do enemas. You don't go on for the energy lifestyle. Get on the breatharian pranic plasma lifestyle, and you don't have to worry about enemas anymore. Once you clean yourself out, go through the process for a couple of decades, and you'll be fine.
People just have to wonder, why do I feel like not eating when I'm sick?
Exactly.
Anyway, where's the soup?
Yeah. They can't relate the two things. You know what? I've seen people, they're going through sickness or whatever, and they're forcing themselves to eat. going against the whole inherent design. The body's saying no food, and they're just putting it through themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, and it's and some and you know people survive through all that punishment. It's amazing the human body. It's absolutely amazing design that can withstand being punished for decades and survive. Now that's amazing.
That just tells you right there, no? How powerful our body is.
Exactly. You know, fasting.
Not
Fasting. Yeah, fasting is the natural state. You know, it's so misunderstood and so corrupted that the word fasting, it's the natural state to me.
Yay! No, and I do appreciate this fasting in particular, the master fast, because it's just based on self-love, and it's based on really not only just stop eating, but also helping the organs, you know, with the herbs, helping the organs release whatever they need to release, and giving them what they need, and then with the plasma pudding and the juice, you know, that nice Drano, absorb all the crap and bring it out, and the enema. So it's just so full. It's so complete. It's just a complete 5-star cleansing system. So so wonderful that you know you put it together.
Limitless star. Depends where you want to go.
Yeah. So let's go to the second or to the 10th. Yeah, but it is just very it just looks at everything, right? It just supports the system, not just okay, I'm gonna stop eating and that's it, right? It actually
Structure.
supports the systems and takes care of the system. It doesn't leave it just on its own, but it's in its own devices. But it is a complete self-care fast. I think that's the way.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, you know.
Yeah.
This is we live it, we love it, and we continue. And
It's a habit. Yeah, absolutely.
we don't let nobody tell us anything else because they haven't freaking experienced it. They have no clue what we're doing. They have no clue, no clue. So, you know, unless you've experienced it, you don't have. We can't give you the time of day to speak about it. It's because we're not going to listen to that nonsense. We've been there. We've done that way they're doing. They have not done what we're doing. That's the difference, right? The understanding
Right.
comes through the experience, and then you see what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know what it tastes like, but it's crap. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you have to taste it. Yeah, you definitely do have to taste it. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So, anybody else coming forth? Going once, going twice. Ranjit, I know you have something.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. I had to go inside to get the iPad on the charger. So I was like, oh no, I've got to go out of nature. So, but oh, Eri, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing. It's just so great to listen to your story and where you're at and share with us. And I really like the fact that how you're living your balanced lifestyle in MFS because creating that balance, I think, for most. Master fasters here is probably one of the biggest challenges to master balance in MFS. I think is a challenge for most people. So that was really good to hear how you've done that. It's great that you're going to come and do a level two with us. So I inspire you to actually come on board and do a dry every week and do an MFS every week and keep up your dries. And I also want to inspire, because you've done a 108, I like to inspire you to come in and do another 40, a full-on MFS, and just get right into it with us, because it's such a, you know, as you know, it's such a beautiful place to be in the natural state. And I can see that in you, and I'd be great for you to be part of our family and be connected on the page and come on Zoom and do that stuff with us. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I absolutely. I think I've been disconnected this year. You know, like just popping in and out every once in a while. Part of it is because I'm moving from here to another place, and then from there, no, never mind, to another place, and so it's been chaotic. But and also because I was feeling like I'm not really fasting right now. I don't know that I can share anything. You know, I was feeling like that. So, but it is just being here right now and just appreciating you, and thank you so much. It does inspire me to be more participative and to just like be more present. So thank you.
That's okay. No, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. I don't have any other questions for Eri. You got a great positive attitude, which is just lovely to see that come through. Positive attitude is a big, huge key factor in this, going through something like this. So it's wonderful to see that come through. Thank you for sharing your presence with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you came and did the interview.
Yeah,
I'm so
we,
happy
know,
that you accepted. Yeah, it's an honor. It's nice to see. It's nice to see people. After a year of doing the master fast, how they're getting their life together and incorporating, fasting and clean eating, um, and how they feel. Yeah, it's very important for other master fasters for sure.
Thank you so much. I was freaking out. I was like thinking like, what am I gonna share? Oh my God, like I haven't done another one. Like maybe, maybe somebody else deserves this spot. And so thank you so much. I think it's also helped me.
I'm so happy it did. Yeah.
Right now, yeah, it's also helped me and giving me some inspiration to do some more.
but this we're all living normal lives out there. So, everybody's going to integrate it differently in their lives, and listening from all the different people, you can see it doesn't matter what you do. You can live a master fasting lifestyle. Doesn't matter what you do. Because all the illusions people put in from their belief in their programming, because they don't have a clue. So when people start hearing all the different ways.
Example, some people are more social than us, for example, in terms of going out, and maybe you are, but we are more like, we got used to this lifestyle. We don't go out too much, and we have people over instead. So somebody like you, I'm sure many people would relate to, because the majority of people are, like um, heavily socializing, or like an average person, and you're living the average person lifestyle, except that you are changing your own lifestyle. Like you're changing it, you're tweaking it so it fits your needs.
Yes, yes. True, I am a social butterfly. I confess. But I don't have to eat, and I can still do a social life. So yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is. It's just a change in habits and respecting them, and not really um, feeling responsible for how other people will think. It's like, sorry, folks, I close the factory at 5 p.m., but you can still chat to me. We can still chat. So thank you, because I really appreciate this opportunity to keep on growing and to keep digging deeper.
We keep digging.
Yes.
Eric, thank you so much for.
Hey, I've just got a question, Erica. First of all, thanks for coming on and sharing. It was really good listening to you, and I'm really curious with how your experience was breaking your master fast, and like, were you like strict with what you ate afterwards for a period afterwards? Like, did you go all fruit for a while, or did you eat, 1 to 2 meals a day, or did you do like, did you always like, fast once a week, or did you like do level 5 or level 6 for a while? And how were your food cravings, and how did you find that whole experience going from 108 days to eating again? And did you stick to whatever you know, I don't know, like say you plan to eat fruit for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks afterwards, and you plan to, you know, just do 2 meals a day or whatever, and fast once a week, like, you know, did that go well? And, you know, and did you have lots of emotions to deal with? And I'm just a bit curious to hear about your experiences, and just share with us kind of how that all went. Yeah, thanks.
That's a great question, and I have a traumatic answer. No. Um, well, you know, I did have a plan to only eat fruit, but I have to say that the last 3 or 4 days of the fast were the hardest, which really surprised me because, like, throughout the fast, I had no cravings. I was feeling super energetic, and I don't know if it was like the um, knowing that, oh my God, I'm gonna start eating soon. That anticipation that was kind of like, I was feeling kind of ravenous actually. Especially the last 3 days were like the hardest after 108 days. Um, and so I I ate some fruit, but I didn't last a week before I ate something cooked, and then I felt. And so I was back and forth, but I was still doing my dries, and then slowly I went back to just fruit. I never ate more than one meal a day. It was too much. It was too much. But it was hard to stick with the only fruit because it was almost like the body was like, okay, well, you give me a break now, give me this and this and this and that. Like all the emotion, all the inner child, or I don't know if to call it the inner child or not. Maybe because it's unwise. I don't know.
The
But
inner program.
my unit program, yeah, really. So it was challenging. It was, I think that was breaking the fast was hardest than the fast. It was harder to stay focused because once you start chewing, or I started chewing and eating, then like, oh my God, there's all these possibilities right now, and I could choose from all of them, you know. And it was really psychic and mentally very challenging. And I think I was the most emotional, and I really had to be extra aware, because I didn't want to hurt myself. You know, I mean, you've gone 3 months and a half without food, or whatever amount, 3 months, 3 months and a half, I don't know, without food. And you know, my organs aren't used to digesting anymore, right? And so I had to just like really be really careful. But it was by far the most challenging part of the process for me, breaking the fast. And so then I have crisis. I have moments of crisis where like I would be like leftovers from my boyfriend's, like when he wasn't looking, I would go in and like a thief, and even without even warming up, and you know, I would just like, and then you know, and then my system would feel sick. Um, so, but I did it a few times, and it didn't feel good. But especially emotionally was like as if, well, the addiction to food, it just came out super strong, super intense. And then after like probably a few months, it kind of like subsided as I kind of like just really talk to myself and say, it's okay, you did that, and it's okay. But you're aware that these are addictions. You're aware that I'm aware that I don't need to. I have to talk myself in second person. I do that. Like, you're aware that you don't need the food. You're aware that you can't survive without the food, and you're aware that this is like a need, something that feels like you need it, not to survive, but you need it. Like, I want it right now, right now. Like the Cookie Monster. And you know, as slowly I went back to like, okay, let's do this, and like I'm allowing myself maybe once every 2 weeks, like some, you know, like a cooked meal or whatever. But it wasn't an ideal end of the fast, because the ideal would have been, the just the juices and then just the fruit and all of that, right? But I never judged myself, and I never blamed myself. I honored it, and I realized that it's one of the limitations that I'm still working on. That 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 programming, the emotional addiction, because it's emotional slash mental. I don't know which ones come first, but it's like a combination of emotional and mental. And then there's like something like a force, and that's the addiction. Right? It felt like a force, like desperation. It was so intense. It didn't feel good. So yeah, basically I did not have an ideal end of the fast, and that was the hardest thing to do. Um, but then as I continued, I was still doing. I think I went back to doing like 3 days of fast or 4 days of fast, and then and I was doing dry fast, and then having maybe 1 or 2 days of eating. I went back to that. That saved me during that period. That saved me mentally and emotionally. Like just going back and then practicing breaking the fast every week, right? Because I think breaking the fast was the hardest thing, and being able to practice breaking the fast was very important. Um, and I did that. I think I did that like I think it was like maybe 2 days of eating, 3 days of juice, and then one dry fast, and do the math, like 7 days a week, right? And then practicing that breaking the fast again. And wait a minute, I think because a suggestion from Rana was like, give you still a day of fasting after the dry, before you go from dry directly onto food. And so that worked better than 3 days of fasting, one of dry and then food. That was it was better for me to do two, 2 days of fasting, one dry, and then another day of fasting, easing into the fruit. That was the process that worked the best for me. Um, and then I did that for about, I would say, 3 months or something like that, before my chaos of moving, all that
Okay.
drama
Did, did you
movie
like,
started. But I hope that answered your question.
yeah, did you like that? Did you like when you did like what was it, 4 days of fasting basically? One liquid, one dry, one liquid. So that's 4 days a week. Did you like that?
I think that worked. That worked really well. I wasn't having any cravings when I was doing that. Um, it would just seem like a nice rhythm for
Yeah.
me
Yeah,
when I was.
and it keeps you going, detoxing basically. It keeps you releasing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's not one day when I do an enema when a big blob of mucus plaque comes out.
Mhm.
I'm amazed, because I can just imagine if I were to do the full colonic, how much cleaner I would be. Because just sometimes even just like touching the tip to the butt, like, creates a release. It's like magic. It's like a button. Um, and so it's just amazing how much the enemas really, really, really help. Things just comes like, whoa, right out. And so that 4 day, 3 day, um, I think I was feeling super balanced back then when I was doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, great.
Yeah, we gotta be very prudent
Yeah.
when break long digestive vacations. This is we emphasize it and emphasize it and emphasize it, and we have to be prudent because people have killed themselves. It's not the fast that kills you; it'll be the food that kills you. People are dying eating all the time. So when you take a long digestive break and then you start eating these really heavy foods, man, you're really putting your body at risk. Will you survive? You may survive, but why take these risks when we know that it's so dangerous? I guess it's the same as a drug addict, right? Why do they do these drugs? Because they know they can be.
So we're stupid.
No difference. Yeah, but we don't have
Is
respect
it?
for creation.
You know, now we tell people not to do more than 40 days consecutive master fast because it's because we want, like, people have to be responsible with breaking, and it's always hard to break a longer fast. So maybe a short, like, we say maximum 40 days, or
Mhm.
weeks, if you want to um, if you want to experience it. And if you want to do like longer than that, just be prepared. It's not gonna be fun breaking, and
Yeah.
I don't recommend it to anyone unless they are going liquidarian lifestyle. You know, if you're
Yeah.
going mainly liquids, then go ahead, experience longer master fast.
Yeah.
But I would say 1 to 6 weeks is what we recommend now. And then the most important part is the lifestyle, uh,
Yeah.
which is like after a period of master fast. And the lifestyle, you can do any level you want. You can do level 2 would be 2 days a week, for example. Level 3, 3 days a week of master fast, including the dry. I mean, it's great for maintenance, at least 2 days, I would say. 1 day liquid, 1 day dry, just so you have the dry there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And yes, I mean, I remember like when I would eat other than like a juice or fruit, my liver like responded like this. Oh my God, intense, horrible pain, and I can tell, oh, that's the liver,
Yeah.
and the pancreas. Like I know, depending on which side of the body it was, the body was telling me, now don't do that. It was really clear, and it was instant. I mean, the pain was instant. So I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't a good idea, you know. Um, and yeah, I wasn't the wisest. It wasn't horrible, you know. Like I didn't really pick out on food. It was more like trying a piece of something, right? But I knew that that was not ideal. I knew I was aware. I was aware. I did it anyway, right? It's like you know, I said that's what people. Why do they do drugs, right? We know we're not supposed to, and there we are. Um, and I'm glad now to hear that what you said. Like if you can commit to that, then do the 40 days or something. But yeah, I agree. I agree. I was actually back then I was so scared of like, oh my God, I'm going to damage my liver. I'm going to damage, you know, I was scared because I was feeling the physical pain, and it wasn't just like a little pain. It was like intense pain on the liver, you know? So I was like, oh no, this wasn't worth it. Here I am. So yeah, by far, I agree with you. Breaking the fast is the most challenging, more challenging than the fast itself.
Yeah, the body's going through a major metamorphosis during the fast, and then breaking the fast for at least twice as long as the fast. So, it's
Wow,
close
just
to a year process doing 180 days. I mean, people aren't ready for that. And emotionally, the way everything happens and so on and so forth. We're not trained for that. And then, when people are trying to do it on their own out there, they're not using the support system and everything. That's why we see them going cuckoo. You know, you see some people going cuckoo. They're not understanding it's a lifestyle. Since day one, we said this is a lifestyle. This is not a fad or an event like going to a circus and then you go home. This is a lifestyle, and we are uh, not experiment. We're practicing living on fields when you're doing an actual master fast. That's what it is, because we're not using anything for its physicality. We're using all dead products, according to everybody. So we're using them for their fields. And already, when you're doing a master fast, you're mimicking what it's like to live on fields. And that's what people can't understand. They can't comprehend. That's why it's so powerful. We're not using the physicality stuff. You want to eat raw food? You're working on the physical body. We're going after the emotion to the soul. We're not playing with the material stuff anymore. We've been there. We've done that stuff. There's no reason. You can't go any further than I've taken the material stuff of, eating raw foods. You can't go any further. You're going to have a plateau, and you're going to go back to eating raw meat or something because you can't find out with the diet. It's a scam. Eating's a scam. We've been hoodwinked. The biggest scam on humanity is the eating process of anything, I believe. There's nothing more of a scam than eating. And we've been duped, and we believe wholeheartedly because of the program that we need to eat. There's people still believe that you're going to die without water after 3 days. They think you're going to die, right?
It's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
You just a little bit before you die.
Meat. Some people believe you're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna be sick.
yeah. So this information that came through in the NFS realm, it's belief system shattering. But the beauty is more and more people are opening up to it. And more people are opening up to it. More and more people are going through the experiences. And more people are starting to gain the understanding. And this is the beauty of why we get these get-togethers with all these beautiful souls, and we have fun every week. Where else would we want to breathe? Where else can I go have more fun than doing this? I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, and the most beautiful thing is the change from being bound to food to like choosing it if you want to. It's a choice.
It's a choice. It's a choice. Beautifully put. Beautiful. It's a choice. It is what it is. We can choose to eat. We can have fun with it, and understand it's not a necessity anymore. It's not.
And it does bring pain, even if it's for pleasure. There is pain. Yeah.
True.
That's an important factor. And it's okay to feel the pain. Hopefully it's not very painful. Hopefully it's the worst food, so it's not too painful. So just to experience it and enjoy it. But you don't want to be dependent on it. You want to be free. Yeah. Absolutely. And make it a choice completely yours. Once it's out of your control, then you are losing it. But when it's your choice and you're enjoying it, then you're winning. You're on the right track.
Yeah, plasma love.
Yeah, plasma love. Like Elitam, we had Elitam with us an interview with Gino about a month ago. And Elitam is a breatharian. And he did mention that, of course, the process and, you choose, at some point, that you don't need the food. And he did mention that when you eat, even as a breatharian, you will feel it. It's not like you're okay, you're free. No, you're not completely. There's still pain with food. So I guess at some point you choose to do it less and less and less.
There's a lot of false information people are spreading, and they think they're.
So yeah, so even when you're in the clean state, like that we know, you'll still feel the pain, of eating. So maybe it's too painful when you're too clean, that you will choose that you probably
because things are clean.
Yeah.
So you feel more, right? You're more in tune.
I mean, we know that when we do longer fast and we go back to eating, we really have to be very careful because we feel the pain much more.
Mm-hmm.
Master fasting is a stage of breatharianism, whatever you want to call it. As I was explaining before, we're living on fields. We're using the material things, but we're using them in a different way. And that's why you feel so freaking amazing. After the GI tract starts getting the major purges of the backed up part out of it, everything starts changing and you feel amazing.
Yeah, and the dry fasting practice, which is part of the master fast, also prepares us if we want to go to that.
Everything happens in the dry fast. Everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to integrating it again.
Yeah, it's fun. You love it. Yeah.
Hey, Gina, I couldn't agree with you more. I have to come in on that one. you know, when you start talking about dry fasting, you know, this whole journey, here we go. I don't know if you want me to share it or not. I don't know if you want me to share it. I love to share it with my family, but my long dry fast. But when you yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, you decided to.
You just did a long one. You don't have to say how long. It was just really long.
Yeah, it's really long.
You know, the whole thing is that once people are responsible, as we're talking about before, you know, you can go out. You know, I'm a big fan of going long on drives. You guys know that. I'm a big fan because that's where everything happens. But 99.999% of people, they're not ready to do long drive fasts. They're not ready. You know, like at the beginning, we're telling people the more dry you do, the more powerful a fast, but you need to be ready. They didn't hear the part you need to be ready. So they went in these long drives and trying to be heroes, and they're gone. They're long gone. We don't hear a peep from these people anymore. They're gone. They're never fasting again. They're running with their tail between their legs because they didn't do their homework. They didn't have an understanding. They don't have a freaking clue what they're doing.
It takes practice.
You know, we see people out there doing these long dry fasts and they're eating crap.
Practice and discipline and commitment to the lifestyle.
So yeah, sure, share. You've gone out with full responsibility of what you want to do, and allow the process to unfold more and more and more, and that's what it's all about, taking that responsibility.
No, sorry to interrupt you. Have you seen, on the note of people doing long dry fasts and eating like shit, have you seen this snake diet guy and his new ridiculous protocol?
Not particularly that. There's a lot of out there now that are doing all kinds of crazy things that I've seen. You know, that's not really a fast. They're using a lot of supplements, salts, and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, that's what they're doing. They have their understanding. We've left that.
Jeremy, I watched like 2 minutes of that snake guy because he's got people that are so masochistic that they appreciate his hate. Yeah. And it's like, he needs a detox so bad. Just the emblem. Are you kidding me? It's like he's got a medical emblem on it for the snake diet. I couldn't even do it. I don't even, unbelievable.
They're into, making people lose weight, through dry fasting. Okay, sure. Go ahead. What are these people going to do after? What are they going to do? They go back to eating their whatever. But, we don't really care. Everybody has a choice to do whatever they want. We're in the realm of MFS. This is what we're focusing on. We have a whole different understanding, approach, and thing. We're like we were talking earlier. We're working with a field. We're working with fields. We're working with energy. Everything's energy. So if we can choose to be stuck in this matter state, or we can choose to start going into the realms, the limitless realms, because they are limitless, right, Ranji? Everybody else.
Oh yeah, it certainly is. And let me tell you, one thing that I've done through this process is that you stick to one realm. You stick to one realm. You stick to the one that you pull to. Okay, because it's always a pull. It's never a push. You never, ever, ever push. And you've got to be ready. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to do your homework. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be planned. And you have to be skilled at this. And you've got to know what's happening. Because if you don't, you will screw up. It's absolutely no doubt about it. Okay, so people know my journey and my story here. Okay, so you can look at me up. I don't do anything that's irresponsible, that I don't think that's irresponsible for me and my husband. I do things that are called, I pull myself. It's a pull. It's a magnetic pull. And season changes are just so, when you tuned into when you tuned into the energy fields, because the information comes through, right? It really does come through. And if you're continually and consistent, like what you say, consistent, prudent, and persistent about doing your monthly drives, if you are doing what MFS protocols are telling you to do, and it comes from the divine, it really truthfully comes from the divine. We know that when you do a 3-day dry fast, okay, we know you die to yourself and you resurrect a new being. You become something new because the magic is in the dries. But when you keep doing this and it's teaching you, and you're going through this realm of MFS, you're getting stuff and information so fast that it's quite incredible if you're energetically open. because some people may not be energetically open to the fields. And by the way, with this 9-day dry fast that I did do in September, okay, I lost a little bit of weight, but not a lot. Okay, which actually proves to me that my physical form has adapted to a certain stage where I'm actually am living off the fields. Because if you don't eat or have any liquids for 9 days, you've got to know what the hell's going on. But I never pushed myself to do it. You know what I mean? Because I know if you're eating and you're not washing out your bowels and you're trying to do a long dry fast, Jeremy, you will screw up, literally screw up, you know, because your body is not adapted to living off the fields, as you know. And yeah,
the full GI tract. This is what people can't eat.
Yeah, and that's the thing with MFS. We clean the plasma vacuum tube so pristine that what else is going to be there? If you're not getting fed by the nectar of God before you do a long dry fast, don't do one. You know when you're getting fed by the nectar of God. It is the thing that really nourishes you. It is that all in the back of your throat that you feel it flow down your GI tract, and you know that is something that's feeding you, nourishing you, I should say. Nourishing you with information. It's not about food. It's not about dense matter consumption. It's about that. If you know that knowledge, then you could be ready for a longer dry fast, I think. If you don't know that knowledge internally, and how do you know that knowledge, Gino? I mean, you may tell us and tell us and tell us and tell us and tell us, and repetition is fantastic because it reprograms the mind, and that's what's helped me so much. But you may tell us and tell us, and you may tune into your fields, and you may tune into Elatom's fields and fields of people that have done this longer. But how do you really know? You only ever know through the soul, and you only ever know when you have the experience. Okay, and that's when the pull happens. But I just really want to share my story with people here. Don't do what I do. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, we've discussed between you and I some things, and Ranjit has done years of homework prior to coming to Master Fast in her whole life. Years of working on herself. She didn't come to Master Fast for any health fad or anything like that. She came to Master Fast for what?
Divine, God.
So
yeah.
That's why Ranjit is doing what she's doing, because there was no ego involved in anything but getting closer to the divine. And she, for some reason, felt this could be a way to help her do that. And maybe you can, share what your feelings are on that, if that helps you at all.
Yeah, look, definitely, Gino. I'll go 3 or 4 years back before my life. I mean, I did the whole letting go process, so leaving my corporate life, shattering my identity. Warren and I gave a lot of stuff away. We went into minimalistic, we went into letting go, we even gave away my jewelry. There's a lot of stuff there that people don't realise. And I'm not a type of person, a bit like you, Eri, I'm not a type of person where I focus on the negative or focus on the pain or focus on those things, because what's the use? The only thing my focus was, okay, I'm 40, not going to be turning 49, before 50, I want to live with God for the rest of the next 100 years. I don't care even if I transitioned over, because I know where I go. So the only thing I really, really, truly care about my life at the moment is truly having an intimate relationship with the divine. And through that whole letting go process prior, and even all the events I've been through in my life, I always see the beauty in it. Okay, I never get stuck in the mess or the garbage of it. Okay, I move through it very, very quickly. Yeah, that shit happened to me. Don't think I haven't gone through all the shit and everything else. Like, I just haven't just turned up and I've had a fantastic life. I tell you, the people that actually do this stuff probably have more traumas in their life going through it, but they just know how to deal with it and respond to it. I don't share that stuff because that stuff doesn't serve any purpose to what you really want to achieve and how you want to be the best human potential in this physical form at this moment, in this consciousness and this time. So the only thing that really drives me is my driver and motivator is our intimate relationship with the divine as much as I possibly can. And how do I become a better human? How do I serve better? how can I be more compassionate, and how can I live in more integrity on this planet for the next 100 odd years? And what I found out is that the soul told me before I got here, okay, you're going to drive fast. We're going to teach you how to drive fast. And the only place that I could was pulled to was MFS. So when I got here, I was so blindsided to everything that was going on. I thought everybody fasted. You know, I know people were judging me, they didn't believe me and all that sort of stuff, right, when I was going through the process. I never, ever focused on any of that stuff. All I focused was on, oh, how can I be with you more, God? Like, what is it I need to do? Like, I surrendered and trusted into this system so much so that I dropped my thinking outside the MFS realm. My mind was dropped and I went into presence. I stayed in the observed state. I was not going to let anything budge this opportunity for me. I created this space for me to happen. I created it, okay? It wasn't just given to me. And so, yeah, Gino, there's a lot there. I know you know a lot of my history, so I really appreciate you. But with the 9-day dry fast, oh my God, do you think breaking an MFS is difficult? Try breaking a dry fast. That's a whole, it's a whole different game. And if you haven't done your foundation work 101 MFS, if you haven't been listening and you haven't been actually really doing a proper 40 days, a proper 108, a proper everything, you won't be able to do a break of a 9-day dry fast. You could probably, maybe, but you will find it very, very difficult. You know, if you're not tapped in and fully surrendered into the space of the soul, if you're not there and you are not skilled in that space, it is very, very difficult to do long dry fast. Most people can't even do 3-day dry fasts, okay? So I've gathered now, it's very, very challenging. And so you have to work your way through as you said, Ari, the less is more lifestyle. It's all about releasing. It's releasing on the physical, it's releasing on the emotional, it's releasing on the mental, it's releasing on the spiritual. It's releasing in your environment. It's freaking about letting go. And I think there is a correlation. The more you let go, the more you can live in the natural state. There's definitely a correlation there, because you have a look at Elatom and how much he's let go and how much he's living in the natural state. And the natural state is the real state, you know, so that is so true. You know, to me, being in the soul and when you're doing this stuff, it seems to me that the natural state is the normal state. You know, this whole process, this space that I've come into has been so smooth for me. Okay, the resistances haven't really been there. Like when I look at other people's journeys and witnessing their experiences, there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance physically, emotionally, mentally, and even in the environment. And you see that. And you need to let go of all that stuff. And that is part of the journey. And that's where it takes decades. Like you say, this is not just like a 1 or 2 year journey. This is like a lifestyle long journey. I even know now that I've got to let go of a lot more. It goes deeper. This stuff goes really, really deep. Like you have I didn't even have any idea. I never understand it. I never have. But the beauty of the 9-day one, oh my goodness gracious me. I did the 24-hour blindfold meditation. It's all about being in the meditation. It's all about being in that empty space, because when you're in the empty space in here, freaking hell, like what comes through is just incredible, and the recoding and the downloading is still happening. So I know with these season changes stuff in October, I'll be settled into exactly what this transition of what my physical form has been and what's actually been happening. So I understand these patterns now, Gino. You talk about it all the time, you know, about the cycles. We don't live in time. We live in space and cycles. And you see that happening. And the more familiar you come with it, it is like a skill or a talent that you're learning. And you're trusting and surrendering it, and more and more and more. So it's a very incredible journey. But during the 9 days, the first 3 days were okay. The 4th day I had, honestly, you know, there's pain. I was running to the toilet. I was actually releasing on my own, and was really a little bit dizzy. And I took the herbs, like I know, you know, to change the you know, if you want to get a little lift up, take some tinctures, you know, just to change things up a bit. And then, you know, you keep going through it. And around day 6, that was a tough one for me also. You know, it was really, really tough. And you've got to go, no one else can actually really help you through this. You can talk about it, you can express it. The only person, I mean, the only thing that can help you through this is the divine and being in that soul. But when you get through it and then you break, like, I don't know how much deeper you want me to get into it, but when you break, that whole breaking process of a dry, you've got to really know you really got to know what's happening, you know, because taking the bubbly was tough. I had to really set it. And I had tummy pain and all that stuff, probably worse than when I broke in an MFS. Like when I did my 4108, it actually felt worse. So then I had the grape juice, which was so thirsty. When I drank the grape juice, like I tried to sip it, but I accidentally just went, oh my God, I had 500 mils in like such a short time because the body just sucked it in. I crashed. I had the best sleep. I crashed for about 7 hours. I can't remember. I crashed, and when I woke up the next day, you know, it was like a different world. It was like a different world. Like I thought I could see clear before. Like I can see colours that are actually luminescent. Like they vibrate. You truly, that whole experience of becoming one and no desires and being fully connected to everything and just falling in that and just appreciating that calm and peace and stillness, I haven't experienced it that deep before. I haven't experienced it that deep. So this stuff's real, Gino. You know, it really is real, but it is tough. It is tough. It's not an easy road at all if you're wanting to go this path. And I still truly believe it is the soul that guides you. You can't say you're going to do this in a, like what I've done it in a whatever time frame, you know. But to feel this way at the moment, freaking, I just go, I'm on just absolute, how happy can you get? There is a form of happiness that is so ecstatic. You know, you go deeper in this and it's so worth it. And I feel absolutely incredible at the moment. Like I could hug the whole planet, really literally hug the whole planet. This is not about us. Never ever think about when we talk about our stuff, it's all about me, I, the identity. It's not about that at all. Way, way beyond that. Like you got to let go of your ego completely. You might have to have a little bit of ego, but pretty much your intellect has to go. You've got to get out of your mind. The mind is shit. It's only used for doing decisions in this planet. It's not used for understanding. It's not used for analysing. It's not used for researching. It's not used for any of that stuff. And that's where people get stuck. They get stuck in the mind. They get stuck in their own little world and they can't see above that. And do you know how easy it is to be a witness and to be, you know, in those states? It's actually quite easy. But we are just stuck in this program mind, this manipulation, this corruption, thinking that, okay, food, for example, dense matter was an agreement that happened thousands of years ago that are in our genetics and we all agreed to it. It's a freaking lie. The biggest con of mankind and addiction is food. We are not made of dense matter. We are made of the moon, stars, and cosmic stuff. That's what we're made of. We're made of energy. We're made of plasma. We're made of that pure energy field that you talk about, love. It's just all, honestly, it is that. You know, it is that electricity. It is that power. And that empty seed sits in your gut. And that is all it is. It's just creation. It is the empty space of creation. And I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face. But, you know, we can live a balance, you know. There's a way that you can live it in this human experience and to see how far it goes. But I just love it. And no one's going to get me off the train. You know what I mean, don't you? You know what I mean. Because you're dry fasting too.
Yes, the glorified dry fast. I've been saying that since day one.
I appreciate you sharing that, because something I didn't touch upon was like the spiritual part, but I think that the way that I found the master was because I was looking to raise my vibration. I've been doing emotional healing work since year 2000, and just like it's like everything is a process of like layers, where like letting go of all belief, like guilt system, from I grew up as a Catholic, right, programmed. So then just releasing all that crap, like belief systems and thought patterns, and a lot of emotional trash. And then eventually it leads you to clear your space, and then that leads you to clear your body, and then it's almost like going back and forth in layers and layers and layers. And then as you get like more clarity by the space you make, and then more light can come in. And of course, light is information, which we're fed with, right? Everything is information, and I believe that's how our body kind of like restructures itself in this, I don't know, call it a hologram, or I don't know, some people do call it that. But what I was seeking was a way to clean my vessel so that more like higher vibration could inhabit, or just raising your vibration. Yeah. So I really appreciate you mentioning that, because that was actually what I was looking for when I found the master fast, and I say, yes, that's what I want. This is the next step for me. So it is all a full system of different layers, and just working with all of subtle bodies, right? The physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And maybe there's more. The plasma body, right? Anyway. So yeah, I wanted to add that. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. We like to describe the field strength. The frequencies, from my understanding, is man-made theory in matter state of seeing the effect of things. And it doesn't really properly correlate with the basic structure of creation itself. Field strength is really how that, a better word to use, when you're looking at the spiral, everything's a spiral in the universe of energy, and it goes inwards. And the more towards the center you go, the stronger the field strength. There's no vibration. We don't vibrate. That's a theory that, spiral. So anyway, that's the way we understand it. It's our understanding. And there's no limit to this field strength. Just like there's no limit to travel the depths of the universes and the galaxies. The speed of light is not the maximum speed. You can go millions of times the speed of light. There's no limit.
But we can go a little faster than before, I suppose. And obviously, I'm using the vocabulary that I have, right? Like, I'm still learning. And the more I know I don't know, and everything.
You don't know anything.
Right? So it's just, everything is, like you said, it's like this process is never ending, because you just keep on learning more, and then you think like, oh, this wonderful thing that I learned is now obsolete, because now I know something even better, or that works better for me, right? So it's like a never ending process of like going higher on the spiral, like you said, right? And so, yeah, that's exactly it, like better and happier and freer, or what have you, right?
It's awesome. It's, the more we know nothing, really, just like what you said. We really don't have any. That's why, trying to figure out who, what, where, when, why, and how this all stuff works. What for?
Only if you talk about comedy.
Yeah. We really don't know. We really don't know. We really have no way of verifying, but we could go through the experience and gain the understanding of the trust by allowing the soul to work in autopilot. That's really all we need to know. So we know what to do to get to that point. And so let's do that over and over and over and stay in that beautiful state. It's simple. It's very simple. And, we live it, we love it.
Yeah, yeah. Having the faith is very important. I mean, even when spiritual people who are not eating, I feel faith is very important. And when you combine that with fasting, and trust and prayer, or meditation and fasting, it becomes very powerful, and it becomes easier to connect. Yeah, the faith is very important. Yeah, because prayers without faith, they're useless, and fasting without faith is useless. You're just fasting. You want to feel it. You want to trust and let go.
Yeah,
and
fasting
surrender.
first and foremost spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened out there? They're using fasting for everything but spiritual journey.
Yeah, it's not about stopping eating. It's deeper than that. And as you go longer, even if you're doing it for physical, physical reasons, you will eventually, as you go longer, it's just you start feeling the spiritual side of the fast.
If you look from the first videos we started doing and stuff, I was talking more about the physical stuff because to allow people to come through the experience. If I started talking the way I'm talking now back then, nobody would have been jumping in. So we had to go to the place where people have that understanding with all the physical stuff and your kidneys, if you're not filtering this, that, and the other thing, because none of this stuff matters.
And we also,
focusing on the juice. So many people focus, it's not about the freaking juice. We're using the spirit of the juice, and so on and so forth. So if you look at over the years, when we started, how we started introducing a little more of this and a little more of that, a little more of this. Now we're going more and more into the fields, because that's where all the juicy stuff is. That's where everything happens. That's where the magic is. And this is all, where we're going to find the places where there's no limits. It's the limitless realms. In physical stuff, you're going to be limited. You want to eat raw foods? By all means, eat raw foods. You're going to go through a plateau and a limit. Doesn't matter what kind of diet it is. So it's all fine and dandy to go that route, because anything from sad American diets or whatever, most diets anyway are sad when you start mixing all these things and fats and everything. But once you start moving away from that, going to a lighter, less obstructive diet, you're going to feel better. It's obvious. Of course you're going to feel better.
The fields.
Yeah. So
stronger.
We've just taken it, to the stars. And for those who are ready, they're going to have the experiences that are profound. And, when we get people sharing their stories, it's awesome, because it really allows everybody to see it's not about the freaking juice, It's not about the freaking juice. The juice is wonderful. We love the juice. We love the juice. I love drinking the juice, but it's not about the juice.
I love the watermelon juice. I love the grape juice. The watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon's like candy when it's cooked. For me.
So watermelon juice?
Yeah, I love the smell of watermelon juice boiling. So good.
I haven't tried it. Yeah, maybe
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
We made a soup with watermelon.
We made a watermelon soup. It was actually good. So I guess it's like similar, except that was like mushed up. It was not a juice.
Mm-hmm.
I cooked my own yesterday. One I grew.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, it was not quite ripe. I just boiled it down a little bit. Just boiled off a little bit of the water. Like heaven, man.
Oh my God! Did you add lemon? Oh my God, so good.
Lemon, yes, absolutely.
Yummy.
Oh, and I grew it, so that's even better.
I know. I've tried growing watermelons before. Let me tell you, didn't work.
Actually, we have like.
Our problem is they get stolen.
Yeah, they get like this big and then they dry. I'm like, what? Oh, well.
I got them. I got 7 of them downstairs. They're about 18 inches long.
What do you feed?
Yes, good thumb.
What do you feed the watermelon plants?
I just normal fertilizer. Over there, yeah, over there we use commercial fertilizer. It's not organic or anything.
NPK.
Nothing crazy, just normal stuff.
Yeah, NPK basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10-10-10, just a nothing crazy.
Yeah.
They did well. We got some nice ones.
Next year, maybe. We have like small ones about that big, and now they're drying up like that big.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta water them. You gotta water.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nobody waters enough, or they water too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't take care of the yard at all this year. Just no time. No time to
Yeah.
get out there.
yeah, it's like you grow. It costs you about $800. The dirt, nice dirt, and everything, right? And then you grow beautiful little dry balls. That's it, right? Like that's an $800 little ball. So, yeah, I haven't nailed the watermelons for sure.
Yeah.
Sun, full sun.
Yeah.
Full sun.
What are you saying? You
He
have
knows his sun. Although I have to say that I just harvested my first apple from an apple tree that I grew from seed.
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah. I have kiwis from seed, apples from seed, lemons from seed. And yes, a freaking tree grew and they gave fruit. How about that?
Yeah, okay.
Amazing.
You grew the trees from seed? Wow, nice.
That's nice.
Mhm. Very pretty. Except the watermelons. I haven't nailed that one.
Yeah. Now you know the secret from Steve.
Full sun.
Full sun.
Lots of sun. They love the sun.
All right. Anybody else? Are we calling it a night?
We're satisfied. Yeah. We feel complete.
Hey, Gino.
Hi, Judith.
How are you guys?
Looking amazing.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Jonathan. I just wanna take a minute to thanks everybody who took the time to reply to my last post on Zoom on a Facebook, because I actually didn't realize I was pushing myself.
Good.
For me, I guess it's because I'm coming from a place where, whatever needs to be done, it's gonna be done no matter the price you pay for it.
Yeah.
And then I was in such a pain. I've never been in such a pain for the last 3 weeks. But I knew as well that, before I jumped on a master fast, this one, I went kind of like crazy, like everybody on a food, thinking, oh, I'm never gonna eat this, or I'm never gonna eat that, so I'm just gonna eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I know that's why my fast at the moment, it's really hard, but I just want to thank you for everybody to opening my eyes, because for me, I was just doing that need to be done. But I thought about the enemas, but I forget about the juicing, the green juice. So the last 2 days I've been doing green juice. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't feel good at all, but I've got more energy. I can function better. I still don't release, but the pain is gone. But yeah, sorry. I just want to say thank you to everybody for opening my eyes to what I was doing, because I didn't see it that way from my side.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a tool, taking the green juice for a bit just to slow down the detox.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody forgets about that veggie broth too.
Yeah. Like,
even on full MFS.
5-10 years in this fasting lifestyle is nothing. People just don't realize it's nothing.
No.
It takes what it takes. It's
What we're talking about now, 5 years from now, is going to be, we're not even going to know what we were talking about.
You still have a long way to go, Jonathan.
Well, people are already that way with me anyway, so.
Hey Judith, I just want to say, Judith, thanks so much for sharing on the page and showing up like you did, because sometimes even that's a courage to do that. to do that and to say what you've said and be open to people's suggestions. I just really want to honor you on that, Judith. I really do, because that can be tough as well. So thank you so much for even doing that. I love you, sister.
Thank you, Ranjit. Love you too. Thanks so much.
This is why we have the group, right? We got to keep ourselves supporting each other and inspire each other. This is what it's all about, because sometimes when you get in these states, in a deep detoxing state, you go blank of what to do. Even though you've been doing it for years, you go into blanks, and sometimes, you just need that little bit of a reminder of, oh, okay, gets a couple of slaps.
Ranjit, you mentioned something to me about like something Halloween thing. I wasn't sure if you wanted to mention it.
Yeah, well, this is us about wanting to have fun. So, like Jonathan, right? Yeah, I want to have a Halloween party on the MFS page.
Pumpkin juice.
So everyone so have some fun and.
I'm going full on Afro Gino. She was thinking maybe I could do retro Gino, but I don't think it fits. I'd have to get like Soul Glow for my hair or something. But like I'm gonna definitely Afro this thing out for the first time ever. And
we want to play in the realms, Gino. We want to play in the realms.
That's all about having fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of us probably aren't going to go to a Halloween bash, so we might as well have our own.
Have our own, yeah.
Halloween's 31st.
31st, yes. So what's happening in your neck of the woods there, Gino, on the 31st?
I don't know.
It's just us, isn't it? It's just us, isn't it?
It was my parents' anniversary.
Oh,
nice, perfect. Pencil it in, Gino. Time to celebrate.
Other ideas for a costume is could be an enema bag, could be a grape, or a piece of mucus plaque.
Watermelon.
Hang a mucoid plaque in the front of your house.
Yeah, make it shiny.
If I were Mexican, I'd shoot for mariachi, I think, and get like 11 people together and go that route.
Oh my God, that sounds fun.
Well, Jonathan wants me to dance the Soul Train.
Well, no, that's how we're all going to kind of, we'll introduce,
okay.
Like the beginning of Soul. And Ranjit in her.
Crash it.
Okay. We got to figure it out. It'll be fun. It's funny. I was telling Ranjit earlier, when I was a kid in high school, I dressed up as Aunt Jemima. And I don't know if everybody knows who that is, but it's a black woman on a syrup bottle. And so I was at this, if I did that today, I'd be on the news right now. And one of the girls at school was like, she walked up to me at the end of the night and she's like, "Oh my God, John?" She goes, "I thought you were Natasha." This one black girl at school. It was great. But there's no more fun in the world, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's different version of fun.
We're serious about being happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's so serious. Yes, exactly. Hey, Gino, you ever watch The Greatest American Hero?
The Greatest American Hero.
You ever see that show?
I don't know. Was it an old
Reality?
one?
No.
I don't think
Well,
so.
I don't think his afro is good enough for my due, but it's a show maybe like early 80s. But it's this guy who basically finds a superhero outfit. But he never lands. He can't land. So like every episode he crashes into barns and stuff. But I was considering him, but then I'm looking at Jeremy tonight in the Zoom, and he would be a much better Greatest American Hero, I think. Just an idea, but this should be a good time.
We gotta laugh, guys. We gotta laugh. Oh man.
Hey Miranda, I just got to say you look good. You look nice and calm tonight. Balanced.
Miranda.
Let me put the gallery on.
Oh.
Oh, we got
Thank you. Oh. Sorry, am I on? Oh, I'm still like figuring out how this works. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, it's really cool to be here, and I don't have a lot to say, but I just feel really good. I've been doing MFS on the weekends and kind of trying to eat my mono meals, not that into it, but I don't know, living and loving it every other, I mean, all parts. It's all going good. I don't really have any complaints.
You know we read your posts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, well, I was just kind of repeating it for other people.
We know, man. It's good. You know, you got a good little thing going.
Yeah,
it's good. You feel better. You can see it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, everyone, for helping me slow down. Because I was just on a train to, I don't know what I just wanted to see, what was I trying to do? I didn't know that. I didn't know that I had gone too far. I just thought I want to just see what I can do, I guess kind of on my own. And now I'm realizing that I want all the tools. I want to follow the protocol, and I want to go slow, and I want to be able to work and feel good, and I want to be really prudent about it. So I've just figured out a rhythm, and food just doesn't feel good. So it doesn't really feel hard. I don't feel like I'm like worried about what to do next. Like I just want to live this way. So yeah, but thanks for all being there.
It's always good to learn from other people's experiences. You know, somebody like it's always good to have someone like a teacher or a mentor to guide us when we are starting something. So it's great. Use it, you know, for your advantage.
Yeah, it's all, Gino's already gone to hell and back, clearly. So I don't need to do that. I think it's all been tested and trialed a lot.
Yeah. I just wanted to, sorry to interrupt, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, David.
That's fine. I'm prepared.
Yeah, David Slicker, I just wanted to know how he's going on his balance, because I just am so fascinated how people just master balance. That just blows me away. So David, can you just say you're all good on the message? I've been trying to get for you for the last couple of weeks. Thanks, Miranda. You're doing really well.
Yeah, you're doing really well, man. Awesome.
Thank you all so much. I love you guys. I'm just so psyched every day. I feel great, and I'm so psyched to be here.
Good. Good.
David, is he around? Doing great. Day 21.
Gino, can I ask sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question, Gino?
Of course.
Amazing, David.
You didn't have to use any jujitsu on the guy you threw out of the group, did you?
We don't start fights. We end them.
Was that the hacker?
Was
it the troll guy?
Probably.
The guy that was just like saying sarcastic things all the time?
No, he's been gone for a while.
Oh, good.
Who knows?
That was
There's
over
been
the
all
top.
kinds.
I only put up so much. You know, we like jokers and stuff, but start saying some stupidity and nothing makes any sense. You know, he made a comment about, oh, I put all my pharmaceuticals in my plasma pudding and I stopped puking blood. What the heck?
Oh my God.
No, I don't know. Anyway.
Hey, does anyone know what happened to that guy, King? Remember that guy that was calling himself King? He was from like New Jersey, and he was doing a really long dry fast. And he was with us for a little while. Does anybody know if he's still alive?
King?
Yeah, it was a black guy he was from like New Jersey. He was like a trucker, but he just like went all in dry. And he was on like a ridiculous amount of days, and he was talking to us a little bit, but he was way out there. And he disappeared from anything I've seen. I was just wondering if anyone knew anything.
Oh, you're talking. He's doing water and stuff. He just wasn't.
I'm not sure. I thought he was doing like straight up dry.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Right. He just came in to tell us how special he was, but we didn't really get much other than that.
I think he did dry and then he did water.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, you know, whatever, you know, people have their own things that they want to do, whatever, I don't know. I'm nobody special, but I've experienced a lot of what's out there, and you know, we come to a place now where we have so many tools, and we can do things prudently, safely, and effectively, much more than anything else I've seen. So why even dwell in those other places anymore? There's no purpose for myself because I've already been in those places. We're going into limitless realms, and the outcome is all the people living and loving it, and we've seen that over the last 4 years of the magic that's happened. I don't know what else anybody else needs. You know, if they want their magic wand, they know better. That's fine, but I haven't seen anything. It's safe and powerful. You know, this is a good, an excellent path for anybody who wants to dwell in it, and 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, or 7 days a week, or go further in a few years and just leave all matter behind. It's all there. It's all in place. Everything that we have structured here, it's for everybody. It's just you decide where you want to take it, how much you want to, how quick or how slow you want to take it. You have to have that balance with the emotion. That's the key to be able to go at the pace that's good for you, and that's what it's all about. Once you start pushing, you're not going to see good outcomes from that. I haven't seen anybody pushing have good outcomes. You know, we allow a little more, a little more, a little more every time, and then, you know, using all the tools, we pull ourselves through the difficult times, and we keep expanding that way, little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. You know, it took me 3 decades. You know, everybody wants it done yesterday. Okay. I know it'll be done faster, way faster than what I did, for sure, because of all the tools in place now and the power behind it. So I know people are going to do it faster. Is it going to happen in a year or two? I can't see that. Even though we've seen tremendous magic happen in people in a couple of years and stuff, it's going to take a little bit of time, and it doesn't matter, right? We embrace it all. We love it. So I think we'll wrap it up for this week, guys. And
Well, beautiful.
Thank you, Ari.
Just want to say thank you, Ari. Beautiful soul.
Good night, everybody.
You are.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Love you all
Thank
too.
you,
Thank
Ari.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gino. and
Steve-O,
Rana. I
change
love
that
you both so
profile
much.
pic.
I will.
Thank you all
Love you.
so much. Love you guys.
See you guys later. See you,
Thanks
Miranda. Night.
again. Bye.
For being here, and success in all of your journeys. Eh? All right. Thank you again.
Thank you again. Keep that plasma love always flowing. That's what we focus on. That
Always.
of that love. We just got to tap into that, and everything is fine.
It is so true. That is so true. Love you, Gino and Rana. It means the world to me. Bye.
Ciao.